Hello everyone, and welcome back to our first time playthrough of Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, specifically the PS4 version, because I really like the PS4.
What a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time actually. With me as always, I have Swearing Taylor, my co-host on our beloved First Time Playthroughs channel.
Beloved, yes.
Beloved, it is very beloved by me, at least. I enjoy doing this, I have a good time.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. You thick.
But anyways, in this episode, and the next couple of episodes actually, we're going to be tackling the second level of the game, which is over on our left right here. We're going to head straight for that. Before you go in though, I want you to just stop and listen to the background noise when you get close to the gate.
That does not sound fun.
No. The robots are committing heinous acts of terrorism.
Alright, let's go.
Yeah, go for it. You need to push the button at the gate to go in the level. You can't just jump through and walk there. It doesn't work like that.
That's dumb!
It literally gives you a prompt on the bottom of the screen.
That's dumb.
That's how the original game was.
Nah.
Don't get me wrong, it'd be cool if they did something like that, but I don't know. I don't think it's really feasible with this level design. Well, maybe it's possible, except for Rock Bottom, I guess. But...
Rock Bottom?
And the Mermalair. Some of the levels I don't think would be... And SpongeBob's Dream. Some of them aren't really that accessible. But I think all the other ones would be.
The robots are destroying downtown Bikini Bottom.
I feel like I resonate with Miss Puff.
Alright, but it's gonna take a while to get all this dust.
You see his little legs? His little knees keep bending like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Not vacuum, evacuate. We have to get everyone to safety.
I've always hated Mrs. Puff.
Why?
She just...
Can we just load them
She's
up
a
in the
cunt.
Why?
Because
That
she's
won't do any good.
SpongeBob, if you talk, you're not getting your license. Like, fuck you.
What episode was that?
Puffer 1 through infinity?
Why not?
How old is
The
SpongeBob?
robots have taken all the
SpongeBob,
steering
it's
wheels.
supposed to be ambiguous, but I always assumed it was like
Just
early
drive in a
20s.
straight line.
No, there are
Those fiends, they thought of everything.
Because like
Never
he's
fear,
technically
Mrs.
supposed to
Puff. I'll
be
get
he's
those
supposed to
steering
be
wheels
treated
back.
as like the kid character, in the sense that, you know, he likes younger things and he acts, he's less mature than somebody like Mr. Krabs or Squidward or whatever. But like he's old enough to, you know, go for his license. He has a full-time job.
Nice
you know.
try.
So he's 17.
Maybe.
What a
I don't
bitch.
know. But I always assumed he was like, you know, he's still an adult. I mean, he literally wears a tie. Like, come on.
You can be 4 years old and wear a fucking tie.
But like on the daily as his regular attire,
Could be. Could be.
I
You don't know his life?
do. I've seen it. I've seen the show.
Fuck
Anyway, so the goal of this level, now that we can actually get into it, is to collect the 11 steering wheels from the boats. As Mrs. Puffett said, the robots have taken over and they're trying to evacuate everyone out of downtown Bikini Bottom, but they've stolen all the steering wheels, so you need to collect them all and get them back. So that's kind of the premise of this, like how the last level was Squidward needing jelly to be healed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so again, another thing I like, you know, every level has its own little mini story going on that shows how each area of Bikini Bottom is affected by the robots taking over. So this is actually the first golden spatula that you can go for. Basically what you need to do is that cannon is locking on you, like that shot just hit you. So you're trying to get the cannon to hit the Thunder Tikis so that they can destroy the stone tower of Tikis up there. That was not meant to be a reference to Majora's Mask. And then you're going to want to obviously press the buttons that they're sitting on, because that will let you get the golden spatula. So I will say this is a little, it's not a bad mission, but it is a little wonky because things like that can happen where you're lined up, you basically are doing what you need to do to get the cannon to shoot the tiki, and you just end up getting hurt because it goes straight through the explosion. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think it's a little, you know, hard to tell when it will and will not, and it happens in the original game too. You're also too far away, so if you get it, yeah, there you go. But yeah, this mission was always a little wonky in the original game, and, you know, I mean, it is what it is. It wasn't a deal breaker. I never really got frustrated with it, but I will admit I got screwed over by it a few times, so.
Oh, I thought I was gonna get fucked up right there.
And yeah, we got just
Alright.
one more tower, So I, in between the last recording session with Jellyfish Fields and this recording session we're doing now, I played the game in my spare time, and I actually got up to downtown Bikini Bottom, so I've played this level in full, and like, there it happened again, yeah.
Wait, when did you do that?
Last night,
When?
when you were upstairs sleeping for 3 hours.
Listen, your bitch likes naps, okay?
There's nothing wrong with that. Did you see where the golden spatula spawned?
Yeah.
Feel
Okay.
like a new sponge.
Yeah, so you gotta climb that statue of some fish. I don't know.
Let's name him Gerald.
I will.
Let's name him George.
Oh my god, you name everything George.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
How the-
You're doing a good job, babe. Stand on the open lid. Don't go for that. That's a very small. Just stand at the top of the lid. The lid. The lid. The lid. The lid. The
That
lid.
is
The lid.
the
The lid. The lid. The
lid.
lid. I was referencing an episode of SpongeBob there.
I thought you were yelling at me.
No, I was referencing an episode of SpongeBob.
Oh,
Big
is that
Pink
what the
Loser.
man, the
That's where Patrick wants to win an award.
and he tries to open the mason jar?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that. Oh, is that when he, like, oh, fucking shit. Nope.
Where he pretend. Yeah, go fight that. I actually want you to fight that guy.
No.
Yes. The best way to fight this guy is to hit him once and then jump away. You cannot hit the tank. Jump away. You did not jump away. You kept trying to hit him. The best way to fight him is to hit him once and then jump away so he doesn't blast you square in the face. Because unlike the original game where you can hit that enemy twice in a row before he blasts you, you can't in this version, which I'm a little iffy on, because on one hand it makes the enemy more difficult and less of a joke. At the same time, it's kind of annoying that you're like square in his face and you can't just hit him because, you know, you're used to that, especially as a player of the original game. And that enemy is annoying on his own as a projectile shooter anyway, depending on where he's like placed. So, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of what they did to Tartar in the remake, because between that and then also the fact that, you know, he can, also, you're not able to do that in the original game. I'm actually glad you just did that right there, because I was going to say, you can do that in the remake, you can't do that in the original.
Really?
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's just an oversight on the remake's part, but, okay, you need to... I love how you literally went right up to the line and you're like, no, I'm done. You have to jump out. Yeah, there you go. But I think that wheel was an oversight on the developer's part. Oh, this is the introduction to another new enemy.
This thing.
His name is G Love, like glove, but G Love.
Oh, okay.
And in the remake, they actually added that little eye siren, whatever the fuck you want to call it, thing to the top of it, because in the original there wasn't anything on top. Which, I don't know, I actually kind of like that touch. Just to kind of balance a negative about Tartar, I like that about G Love, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And then there's also those other enemies that we saw briefly. I'll point them out again. They're also new in this level. But we'll be getting to them.
Yo.
Yeah, he's a anchovy. But you're originally supposed to jump on top of that stack, jump on that floating tiki, and then go over to get the wheel. But again, remake, you don't have to do that, so.
Ouch. Can I do this?
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to kill him. As SpongeBob
10
and
times
Patrick.
better than...
Feel like a new sponge.
Nope.
You can't kill them that way as Sandy, but we'll be getting to Sandy later on in this level.
Yeah, she has
'cause-
her lasso and you can like swing around and stuff. That's what I do remember.
Correct. I love how that tiki was just floating there.
Hey, G, chilling.
Yeah. What? What?
I left it there.
Oh my god.
There's also one over
You
here.
don't need it.
I need it.
Oh my gosh.
I got it.
You're a kleptomaniac.
I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, that tells me yes.
No. Oh, hot sauce hurt you, right?
Yes, and that is a reference to the, oh, what episode is it? Oh, it's the episode where, is it no, it's not pre-hibernation week, is it? Oh, what episode is it? Maybe it, Is it? No, it's not.
Mother frickety fuck.
Or no, I forget what episode it is. Is it? I don't think it's karate. Oh my god, it's killing me that I don't remember what episode that's from. But I'll put it on screen right now because, yeah, it's a reference to a SpongeBob episode. Because hot sauce is mentioned in it. Maybe it is pre-hibernation week. I feel like it is. This is the sponge ball. You actually need to press that button first before you roll through this section. Although there's a wheel right there, so you may as well get it before you roll past it. And you can get hurt while you're in this form, so just be careful around enemies.
They see me rolling. They sponge hate.
But yeah, this is another feature in the game, the sponge ball. It only shows up in a few levels, so it's not the most common thing. In fact, I think it only shows up in 2 levels. Because it's not in the next level. And then it's in the level after that. But then it's not in the next 2. Yeah, I think the sponge ball actually only shows up in this level and 1 other one, so... you need to go back and press the button.
Where the hell's the... Oh.
Yeah, you remember the button I said you should press.
Oh, let's pay attention.
Yeah, so this level is basically just introducing you to the sponge ball, which you won't use very often, but yeah, it basically lets you roll. In the remake, they gave it a jump. You can't jump in the original game.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you can't jump in the sponge ball in the original game.
I thought you could.
No, you cannot.
No!
But you can in this game, which I think makes it better, and also it controls way better too. So like, I'll give the remake props there. You can control the sponge ball way easier, and I do appreciate that change. What it wants you to do is, yeah, do that. So they'll also place situations like that around the map where they put a Thunder Tiki on a stack, and they want you to activate the Thunder Tiki to get like a massive combo or whatever. So
I shouldn't go that way.
no, you go that way, yes. But continuing on through downtown Bikini Bottom, I will say another aspect of this level that I definitely appreciate more in the remake is that in the original game, this level was extremely bland in the sense that the textures and the lighting and the colors just didn't really pop that much. I thought it was very dull to look at. Whereas, you know, this downtown Bikini Bottom feels a lot more vibrant and alive, especially with the ground, but also the buildings and just the general colors. It feels more warmer and contrasted, which I appreciate. This jump in the original game was a pain in the butt. In the remake, it's super easy. I feel like they may have something programmed where it kind of gives you this massive, like, handicap, or it might be a little automated. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely easier to pull off in the remake compared to the original. You want to get out of the... yeah. So I appreciate that, because that jump was such a pain. I remember that being such a nightmare for me to pull off in the original version of the game. But
Hey, look how many little shiny things I have.
how many do you have? 8,000. Dang. Yeah, so I actually did some more research, and it turns out that the amount of shiny objects that robots give you are more in this compared to the original. In the original, they drop less.
Really? What's that say?
Clamsicles.
I thought it said cumsicles first.
That's nasty.
They wouldn't put it in a kid's game. But...
Of course they wouldn't. But another thing I wanted to point out is that while the enemies do drop more shiny objects, they do not count as 2 towards your combo. Like, you remember how I mentioned in Jellyfish Fields, you can build a combo by breaking tikis and building, and you know, the more you break, the higher your combo, and you get a bonus. You can do that with enemies too.
To do that?
No, you were, because that was shooting out trash at you, but that's good.
Oh,
In this version of the game, the enemies are no longer worth 2. They're worth the same as breaking 1 tiki, which I'm not really a fan of. I kind of wish they were still worth 2, but maybe it was a balancing thing because they make the enemies drop more shiny objects. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this is to get a sock. You just got to jump up these 3 floating platforms. In the original game, add that to the counter.
No!
In the original game, those platforms that you're jumping on right here were slippery. In the remake, they've removed the slippery surface so they're easy to stand on, which I kind of appreciate.
That, but I can't.
You'll be able to get that later, so don't sweat it.
Oh, with Sandy.
Yes, correct.
Sandy cheeks.
Yep. So if you go ahead and go right through there. Again, didn't that feel like the game kind of automated you through it a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of maybe programmed something that like kind of forces you to make those, which I'm totally okay with because they were somewhat obnoxious in the original game to do. To pull off.
What do you mean get Sandy to help me? I can get...
Why do you keep skipping and cutting off the dialogue?
Because if it's super fast, like a super small thing, I just kind of...
that gap looks big. Okay, I'm definitely not making
Oh, that gap
jump.
looks big. Talking about my friend Emily.
How is anyone going to get across? Uh-oh, more robots.
I ain't talking about gap teeth, boys and girls.
Holy
Oh my
Dutchman's
God.
ghost!
Kaboom!
Gap looks impossible. Okay, I'll go get Sandy to help me out.
Like, I'm totally fine. Like, I think you should just let them finish the line and then press X immediately, just like to let us hear the whole dialogue, you know? Because
Like,
there's some pretty enjoyable lines in this
but
game.
like, are y'all able to read? Or
Yeah, but like
no?
some of it comes in the voice delivery, you know? Like, I'd like us to show off the dialogue. Because that's another thing I praised in my video, is I think the writing in this game, it's not perfect. There's certainly jokes that don't land, and aspects I'm not, you know...
Well, duh,
don't-
of course they never land. They're under the sea.
Oh my god. Alright, that was... I'll give you that. But the writing in this game is better than that, so...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can afford that.
yeah, but let's save that for last, please. Let's continue through this section first. Yeah, so there's another one. If you do your thing, you're actually able to just jump up it. You know,
Fuck out of here.
in the original game, you're supposed to use Sandy to land on top of that, but if you jump on that light and then I think you can land on the light, anyways.
I don't think it's gonna.
Well, you also haven't actually gotten directly over the top of the lamp. Like, you're going over the stem. Because I'm pretty sure I got this last night by, like... Just... Okay,
No,
so, well,
I can't.
okay, stand on it and then do your vertical thing. There you go.
Thank Christ.
Yeah. Again, I think that might have been an oversight in the remake. In the original game, you can't do it that way. At least I don't think you can. I don't know if I've actually tested it on that boat. I'm kind of tempted to test that and find out.
So now what?
So now you're going to want to go up those steps. Turn around. Where Gary was telling you to go. Go up these. And you're going to be switching to the third playable character of the game, Sandy. So
I heard she was a cheeky girl.
So Sandy, in my opinion, is the best character in the game. She's the most fun to play because she's got her trusty lasso, being, you know, a Texan and all. Her basic moveset, she's able to attack in the air by kicking, if you want to go ahead and do that. Square, in the air. Kick, and then when she's on the ground, she'll do a karate chop. Kind of in tune with her character, being all about karate and whatnot. If you jump in the air and then you press the X button again and hold it, you'll be able to hover, which is another one of Sandy's... moves that actually makes her extremely mobile, and that's how you're supposed to get the purple object right there. So, good job.
That is.
And then, yeah, you can go right there. So, yeah, I think Sandy's a whole lot of fun to play. She's also got a few more tricks up her sleeve with her lasso that we'll be seeing as we continue on through this building parkour section, quote-unquote parkour. This isn't Mirror's Edge or anything, but you are running across buildings, so... And in fact, we're actually going to be introduced to it right here because you're able to lasso different things with your lasso. Man, these tikis are supposed, you know, yeah, that's really weird how those tikis like aren't falling because they're supposed to fall. I'm not sure what's up with that, but the game's basically showing you whenever that reticle shows up, you're able to lasso it. So you can lasso different tikis from a longer range. So this is actually a good way to break thunder tikis without even risking getting close. Which is good. And then another thing you can do, hold circle, hold circle, hold circle. Something you need to do in this game compared to the original is you actually need to hold the circle button instead of just pressing it. In the original game, you would press it and then you'd press it again to let go. Or you'd press the jump button to let go. In this game, you are actually forced to hold the, what's it called? The swing button to be able to do that, which I'm not a fan of. I prefer it the other way. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. You could just sit there and just grind. If
You could, but-
really wanted to.
Yeah, you could. There's plenty of every Duplicatotron in the game lets you grind, but there are better ways to grind in the game besides that. We'll be getting to those momentarily. But yeah, as I said, you got to hold this button down. So basically, what this remake wants you to do is it wants you to hold the button, and then it wants you to let go as you get to the apex on the opposite side, and then let go and just kind of swing across that way.
Swingy, swongy, swing.
Get that spatula, and then I want you to go break that cannon. Because that will get rid of the cannon that is shooting stuff at you, and also there is another wheel on top of this part.
And a sock!
Yes, which you'll be able to get to from the box, but go get that wheel first. Alright, you can't make it from there. What you need to do is drop down where Gary is. And go in that teleport box right there. And Sandy's Hubbard does not last forever. You are on a time limit.
Right
So, yeah, jump in there. And then you can tilt the camera and glide across. I will say that another thing that I'm not a fan of in this game, in the remake, and I think it's a bug, is that I actually changed the camera controls like I do in Spyro to have them inverted sideways because...
Yeah, can you tell why I keep doing
Yeah,
this
so if you
constantly?
go ahead and pause and press triangle and go to gameplay and then go to invert controls and do horizontal and go back. Go back again. Now your camera will be inverted, which is, and then go left actually and jump on that trampoline. There. I saved you some more trouble. Kind of makes the teleport box a little pointless, but whatever. One thing I will say about the teleport boxes that I'm not a fan of in this game compared to the original is in the original game, the camera would immediately just like shift really rapidly to where the other box is in the room. In this game, it does that fade to black, which I don't like as much. I prefer the original's transition. Again, a lot of these differences are minor, and it doesn't ruin the game by any stretch. They're just little things I appreciated more in the original game that aren't present here.